All right, that was Kendrick Lamar, Mr. Morale, and the Big Steppers. On one listen, this is my very first listen. You know, it's still not even May 13th in California. The album drops May 13th. It's 10:50 p.m. So obviously, like, I'm not gonna get all this in one listen. But I did like the album, disc one. I like how that started off. It started off like a little unpredictable. I wasn't sure what to expect. You had track number one, United in Grief. That went into N95, then Worldwide Steppers, and then Die Hard, and then Father Time. It was a lot of different looks, especially production-wise. Not only just in those first couple songs, but throughout the whole album. Now, I will say that I know there are going to be a lot of people who don't favor this album because it's not in the same vein as the other Kendrick albums. Other Kendrick albums, Section 80, Damn, To Pimp a Butterfly, Good Kid, Mad City. These were all albums with, I wouldn't say straightforward themes, but the theme was there. Even To Pimp a Butterfly, that wasn't a straightforward theme, but they had like the poem at the end of each song to where you knew there was something going on, but you just had to connect the pieces. This album didn't like that. This album at times just feels like a compilation of songs. There's some random stuff going on here, like the Kodak Black. I still don't understand how Kodak Black ties into this album. He's on like 3 songs. He only raps on 1 song, but he's on like 3 songs, and he's mentioned like in another song or 2. Like 4 out of the 18 songs, which is like almost a 4th or 5th of the album, makes some reference to Kodak Black, which I don't understand. Maybe there's something about Kodak Black being fresh out of prison or something that connects to the overall theme of the album. Because in the end, it seems like Kendrick Lamar's freed himself. But I'll say this album is like heavy with stressed grief from the argument on track number, what was that, 6, We Cry Together? Excuse me, track number 8 on disc 1. We Cry Together, from, you know, that argument there to Crown, where Kendrick is like seeming to like, you know, in the hook or in the theme of Crown, he's saying you can't please everybody, you can't please everybody. It's like he's saying it over and over to try to convince himself so he doesn't feel guilty about not being able to give everybody money or please everyone. There is Silent Hill, but you may lose track of how stressed he was talking about he was on that song, because Kodak Black comes like with a 20-30 plus bar verse that has really nothing to do with what Kendrick was talking about. But stress on that song. Track number 6 is talking about sexual abuse. Track number 6 is Auntie Diaries on disc 2. Again, stress, guilt. He was using this word, but he knew somebody who would be offended by it, but now he's judging himself. It's a lot to unpack in that song that I still haven't unpacked yet, but I got the gist. And then track number 8, Mother Sober, featuring Beth Gibbons. That was a song about sexual abuse. This album is wrapped in like grief, stress, depression, right? I don't understand how Kodak Black ties into this. Again, maybe it's something about Kodak being fresh out of prison and Kendrick freeing himself from being not enough or overly empathetic. I don't know. I gotta listen to it some more. And also on this album, there's multiple references, not just to Kodak Black, to Islam. Ghostface spits a verse, which is like, I never heard Ghostface like this, like on the verge of tears. Really talking about being spiritual and getting himself together. That was very interesting to hear. And it kind of ties into what Kendrick's talking about. Like that Ghostface killer, it's like Ghostface heard the whole album. The whole album then made that verse, because it fits right in with this album. Track number 5 on disc 1, Father Time. Kendrick talking about having daddy issues, which resulted in ego, pride, not being able to allow himself to be sensitive, etc. And I also want to say Worldwide Steppers had some of that grief, some of that stress. But anyways, there's references to Islam, fasting, spiritual, choosing self. So there's like that bit of conflict, like the guilt of not being able to please everyone, or guilt of past things he's done, past things he said, past things he should have done. But then there also is that freeing aspect, like, I chose me, like the outro, I chose me. Like, I'm sorry, like I chose, counseling and to get through this and my family. So I do think there's a theme here. I think it's less explicit. And maybe Kendrick is not trying so hard, like to hammer this theme in. To Pimp a Butterfly, Kendrick hammered that theme in. There's like a poem at the end of every song, which personally cool, but to me I didn't like that because when you listen to these songs on To Pimp a Butterfly or randomly, that poem is, I skip that part if I'm not listening to the whole album front to back. So anyways, I know a lot of people aren't gonna like this album. I can say that just on one listen because I know how a lot of these Kendrick fans are nowadays. But me, I like that Kendrick didn't need to be I feel like that he didn't feel the need to be overly complex. Because when you release these type of albums, I feel like To Pimp a Butterfly, he found like the perfect medium. And I feel like on Damn, that album almost on the verge of like, we're trying to force a theme that's not there. To me, that's how I felt, even though I like some of those songs. And I like the album overall. I went to the Damn tour in Vegas, T-Mobile Arena. I like that this felt effortless. I like that Kendrick kind of put the songs first and the song structure. Songs like Die Hard, I like that song here, those first couple songs, even in 95. I like that the music is first. He didn't feel the need, like, you ever watch a Key and Peele, or Key and Peele, however you say it, movie? It's like, there's a way to be deep in a movie, like a Pulp Fiction or what have you. But the Key and Peele movies are like, it's like overly deep. I'm just glad Kendrick didn't go that direction. This feels effortless, feels like he's not trying too hard to force something that's not there. It really feels like he hasn't been listening to anything people have been saying. Otherwise, he probably would have succumbed to that pressure to try to do that. This Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers album is good. It doesn't have to be amazing. And this is on one listen, so take it with a grain of salt. It doesn't have to be amazing. It doesn't have to be deep, and it's deep in some parts. It doesn't have to be overly deep with a theme and this and that. You can play it frontwards, you can play it backwards, you can play it sideways. There's good music on here. Great production. All the features make sense. Even the Baby Keem feature. Y'all know I'm not a Baby Keem fan like that, but it makes sense. The Ghostface Killer feature especially feels great. Even that Summer Walker feature, that was a good song, even though it's not my type of thing. The slow songs on here, not my type of thing, but that's just me personally. Purple Hearts, not my thing. Auntie Diaries, not my thing. Mother Sober, not my thing. Yeah, and the Baby Keem interlude, not my thing. But that's just me. That's how I feel. This is a good album. And I feel like for a lot of people, Kendrick can't be middle of the pack. He gotta either be way over here, great, or it's just whack. To me, as a Kendrick listener since 2009, this is a good album. I'm glad he took this direction. I'm glad to hear he's in like the same mind state as I am. I said this earlier when I was reacting to one of his songs. Whenever Kendrick drops, and this is like why he's one of my favorites, each project from EP all the way to this one, we be like on the same wavelength. Like when he did To Pimp a Butterfly, I was also on my pro-black thing. Like right before that dropped, then he drops the album, pro-black, leaning album. I'm like, yo, we on the same type deal. When he did Cut You Off, like EPOD era, I was also on that type of thing. Like, yo, I'm cutting, it don't matter if you family, bro. Like, I'm not trying to feel that negative energy type deal. When he did Good Kid, Mad City, that's how I was feeling. You know what I'm saying? Good Kid in the Mad City. And with this one, when he's talking about, cancel culture and people being scared to say things, fake woke and fake deep, like, bro, like, this is like what I've been on like the past year or two. So it's good to hear that we're still on similar wave patterns. So anyway, I say all that to say, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, good album. I still need to listen to it again. But if I had to rate this album on one listen, which I do not like doing because you just can't do that. But if I had to, I give this 3.5 stars. Good album. I think I like it more than Damn on the first listen. I really liked Damn when I first heard it, but I don't really return to all those songs like that. I return to DNA, I return to Duckworth, and Fear. A lot of other songs, I don't return to it. So yeah, this is like on the same level as Damn to me. So great production, all the features make sense. 3.5 stars. And yeah, what did y'all think of this album? I think I can already gauge how people are going to view this album just based on what like Kendrick's newer fans say about his other albums. I can kind of think how they're, because this is a little different than the other ones. So anyways, be sure to subscribe if you have not already. This is top5rapwebsite.com. Peace.